Are your Google ads burning through the budget without getting real returns? If you're a DTC owner watching CPAs skyrocket, margins shrink, then you're in the right place. And even if your CPAs aren't skyrocketing, I can guarantee that you'll be able to boost your return ad spend just from watching this video. I'll be breaking down the 3 most important lessons that have helped my ecom clients hit 1 million per month in revenue and will help you achieve the same. I'm Andre, founder of HoloGrowth, a growth agency for D2C ecom brands scaling to 1 million per month and beyond. In the last 12 months, I've audited hundreds of Google Ads accounts, driving more than 50 million in tracked revenue. The pattern is always the same: rising ad costs, misscaling opportunities, and money left on the table. Today, I'm focusing solely on Google Ads because for many brands stuck at 50 to 500k per month in revenue, CPAs are just killing the momentum. And I have 3 easy fixes to get your ads working for you again. So first of all, why are your Google Ads so damn expensive? Before we go into fixing the issue, let's first try to understand why your ads are so expensive. Auditing hundreds of Google Ads accounts revealed 3 recurring issues. Problem 1, there is no brand and non-brand separation. You're paying a lot on branded searches when in reality those people are already sold. And that just massively inflates cost and hides your acquisition performance. Problem 2 is weak targeting and missed exclusions. Showing ads to the wrong audience just wastes money on clicks that won't convert. And no creative or copywriting can fix poor targeting. And problem 3, your data is lying to you. Inaccurate tracking just means Google spends your budget on junk traffic, rising your CPAs by 10 to 30%. These silent killers drain your budget and block your path to 1 million per month, but they're fixable. Problem 1, you have to split branded and non-branded campaigns. This easy fix addresses a common mistake of not separating branded search and non-branded search campaigns, or even shopping campaigns. When someone searches for your brand, they're usually already sold, and you shouldn't pay premium CPCs for traffic that you would get anyways. I audited a supplement brand a couple of weeks ago that was making 180k per month in revenue, and their Google Ads return ad spend looked okay, I would say, at a 2.45 return ad spend. After digging into the data, looking into the numbers, I realized that 60 to 70% of that was branded search. So they were spending the majority of the budget, and almost all of the results that they were getting were from people who already know the brand, who were actively searching for the name of the brand. And chances are very, very high that those people would have bought anyways, whether the ad is there or not. And therefore the brand was just wasting a lot of money for no incremental revenue. We found out that their new customer return ad spend, and not even that, the prospecting campaigns that were not primarily targeting branded search campaigns were losing so much money. They were not even nowhere near profitable, and the brand didn't even know that. They thought that the majority of the spend goes towards prospecting and new customer acquisition, and that overall they have a 2.45 return ad spend, when in reality 60 to 70% was branded search, and that massively inflated the numbers, inflated the return ad spend, where they thought they're profitable. They thought the Google Ads are working, when in reality they weren't working at all. The fix for that is to create branded search campaigns and specific brand protection campaigns, where you use exact match keywords to target people who are searching for your brand with low bids, and be very specific about how much budget you want to spend on those campaigns and how much you want to invest into branded search campaigns. And then the thing that the supplement brand was missing is you have to make sure to exclude all the branded terms from all the other campaigns. Make sure that every term that is related to your brand and people who are already searching for your brand, your products, and everything related to that are excluded from all the other campaigns. And I mean the search campaigns, the performance max campaigns, the shopping campaigns, from all of them. With the non-branded campaigns, you should be targeting problem keywords, product keywords, people searching for something generic, but not your branded terms. Implementing this strategy for Globetrotter, a luxury luggage brand, helped them get their Google Ads return ad spend from a 1.2x to an above 4x consistently, and that allowed them to scale 40% year over year. If you're tired of not being able to scale past 500k per month and want to even get to 1 million per month, we can help. I will put together a custom 90-day scaling roadmap for your brand specifically. It's a 2-hour deep dive where I personally go through your ad account, your funnel, and your numbers. And I'll help you pinpoint exactly where revenue is leaking and where your biggest growth opportunities are. Some brands just take this roadmap and run with it on their own. Others decide to stick with us to execute. Either way, you walk away with a clear profit-first path to growth. Not a generic PDF, but a custom roadmap tailored to your business specifically. If you're ready for that, click the link in the description. Anyways, back to the video. Problem 2, optimize for new customer acquisition. A major mistake is bidding the same for new and for existing customers, leading to a lot of wasted spend. The 180k per month supplement brand was spending a lot of money on existing customers rather than spending the money to find new ones and get new customers. And that led to them declining 14% year over year in terms of revenue. The easiest and quickest way to fix that is to go to your campaign settings and then select bid higher for new customers. For aggressive growth, you can even select to only bid for new customers. You obviously have to make sure that the customer lists that you upload to Google are always up to date and are accurate. Ideally, you should directly integrate Google with Klaviyo or with Shopify to make sure that the customer lists are always up to date. You have to make sure that the exclusions are set tight. We want to make sure that the majority of the budget goes to net new customers, because that's the only way that your brand will grow long term. Obviously, it's nice if customers come back, and with certain business models, it might make sense to remarket and advertise to existing customers to make sure that they keep coming back. But the majority of the budget, almost all of the budget, should go to acquire new customers, because that's the only way that you'll be able to scale your brand long term. New customers are crucial for scaling. We scaled AlgoRx, a telehealth platform, from 70k per month to over 260k per month in the first 6 months of working together by focusing on new customer acquisition. Focus your spend where it counts. New buyers, lower CPAs, faster scaling. Problem 3, tighten your tracking and attribution. You can't fix high ad costs or low return ad spend numbers if you don't trust your own data. In most of the cases, I see that it's set to 28-day click attribution. And that means if someone clicks on an ad and then ends up buying 27 days later, even 28 days later, Google will still count it as a conversion from the Google ad. When in reality, it was so long ago, maybe it helped the customer discover the brand and see where it was coming from, but the ad was in no way responsible for that purchase. With most clients and most brands, whatever, it depends what you're selling, we want to make sure that the attribution window is way shorter than that. We usually recommend a 7-day click attribution window. That means if someone clicks on an ad, in the next 7 days, we want to count that as a conversion that came from that ad directly, and if not, we don't want to count it as a conversion. Obviously, it will lead to lower return ad spend numbers in your ad account, and the results in your ad account will look worse, but in reality, that will be way more accurate and that will reflect way better in terms of which ads are really driving results, which ads are really driving purchases, and which ones are not. If your product is very cheap, then it might make even sense to set it even lower, because then you will rely primarily on impulse purchases and people making quick decisions. And for that, we want to make sure that the attribution window is even shorter. For view-through conversions, we want to be even way more conservative. For those conversions, we usually recommend sending it to 1 day. That means if someone saw an ad, but didn't even click on it, didn't engage with that, then we will only want to count that as a conversion that came from that ad if he converts in the next 24 hours. Because just seeing an ad is not a strong signal. On top of that, we want to make sure that we track the whole funnel. So oftentimes I see that the Google ads are only tracking purchases, when in reality, we also want to make sure that we are tracking add to carts, initiate checkouts, and all the other steps in the funnel. Obviously, those should be only secondary goals, and we don't want to optimize the ads for that. We don't want to report any conversions or results based on those metrics, but we still want to have them in the account, because if we analyze the performance of the ads, if we analyze the performance of the campaigns, we want to be able to see how many people at least added something to cart, how many people started the checkout process, and where are the individual drop-off rates. Because if we suddenly see that one campaign has completely different drop-off rates than all the other campaigns, we know that there is something wrong in that step, and something in the messaging of the ad might not be fitting with what the person is seeing on the website, and therefore we have a higher drop-off rate. And that's why we want to make sure that we're tracking all of the steps in the funnel and can really pinpoint where the drop-off is coming from. Otherwise, we're only able to see whether someone purchased something or not, so it's either just yes or no, and we only have the general conversion rate, but it's oftentimes not enough to really pinpoint and understand what is really happening on the website. Last but not least, we want to make sure that we can cross-check the data with a third-party tracking platform or GA4 or Shopify to make sure that the data is really accurate. Based on how you've set up the tracking, the Google Ads numbers can still be inflated, and we want to make sure that we have a second source of truth, a second data layer where we can look at to make sure that those numbers are accurate. And you need to check that weekly. The 180K per month supplement brand had completely misaligned attribution, and that's why they were thinking that they're getting a 2.45x return ad spend, but in reality, it was way closer to 0.65x. And with that, they were just losing money and wasting money on the Google ads. Clean tracking prevents paying for non-existent results. For example, when we fixed the tracking for Soteriskin, their cost per conversion dropped to below $50 on Google, which allowed them to really boost the sales. If you fix your tracking, you'll be able to scale with confidence. If you're an ecom founder chasing that 1 million per month milestone, I've built something for you. This free Google Ads playbook outlines the exact step-by-step strategy that I've used to scale over 50 e-commerce brands. These are the exact methods that we use to push brands past plateaus and achieve real, consistent, profitable growth. Really valuable for you, especially if you're in the 50K to 200K per month mark. The link is in the description. Just to recap, these are the things that you have to make sure of. First, split the campaigns. You have to make sure that you separate brand and non-brand campaigns. Don't pay premium for those people that are already willing to buy, that are already searching for your brand, know, like, and trust your products, and are just there to make the purchase. You have to invest into new buyers. Time and time again, I see that the Performance Max campaigns are spending a lot on branded search because people don't exclude those. You have to make sure to exclude the branded terms from all the campaigns. Second, optimize for new customers. You want to incentivize Google to spend more on new customers, and you want to make sure that the majority of the budget goes into new customer acquisition rather than just getting existing customers and previous customers to repurchase again. Obviously, it's nice to have, but it shouldn't be the focus of your budget. And 3, tighten your tracking. Make sure to shorten the attribution windows, track the full funnel, and review your data on a weekly basis. These steps scaled AlgoRx from 70K per month to 260K per month in the first 6 months and helped Globetrotter achieve 40% year-over-year growth. Pick one of these strategies and implement them today. Small steps add up to significant savings and growth. And here's a bonus tip to keep your Google Ads costs under control long term. Do this quick weekly audit to prevent CPA spikes. Check your search term reports. Identify irrelevant searches and make sure to exclude them on a weekly basis. That will just save you a lot of money. At the same time, make sure that all the branded terms are excluded from all the non-brand campaigns. Then review the placement report. For Display and Performance Max, block low-quality sites and apps with poor conversion rates. And obviously monitor your campaign return ad spend. Pause or cut budgets from the campaigns that are underperforming and make sure that you do that frequently. A quick weekly audit can unlock massive growth. These kind of weekly audits catch problems early. For night operators, fixing irrelevant search terms helped us scale the brand from 64K per month to 221K per month in only 2 months. Make this a weekly habit to control your CPAs and scale towards 1 million per month. That's a playbook that I'd use to cut your ad costs and scale your ecom brand faster. Follow these 3 strategies, implement the weekly audits, and you'll set yourself up towards that 1 million per month milestone. But if you really want to make this work, you'll need more than just lowering your CPAs. You will need a growth system that turns every new buyer into long-term revenue. That's exactly what I cover in this video. How we scaled the brand from 113K to 317K per month in revenue in only 75 days by fixing their funnel and increasing lifetime value.